Hi, guys. I just want to go forth. I've been in prayer, and there's a lot of things that I've been talking to the Lord about. And I also looked at the prophecies that He gave me over the years. And if some of you want to go and look at the prophecies, I have it on YouTube. I have it on Podbean. And the things that the Lord has spoken about, some of these things have already manifested. And some things, yes, people are putting things into action, and some things are going to happen. The Lord talked about martial law. Martial law was going to take place in America, and we're seeing that now in California. I also saw a video with a Hispanic lady. I don't know if she's Puerto Rican. I don't know if she's Mexican, so I'll say Hispanic. And if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But she made a comment and she was crying, and she says she doesn't see the black people. Well, I have an issue with that word black, but that's another day and another story. But people of color are not out there helping. And I want to address this from a biblical perspective, and then and from a spiritual perspective, and then from an earthly perspective. So I'm going to read from Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. It says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender." And in the study notes, it says, "Does this mean we should never borrow? No, but it warns us never to take on a loan without carefully examining our ability to repay it. A loan can be managed, enables us. A loan we cannot manage enslaves us. A borrower must realize that until the loan is repaid, he or she is a servant to the individual or the institution that made it." And this is talking about a loan, but this scripture goes deeper than just a loan. So I'm going to go back through history for some of you who do not know the struggles of my people. My ancestors, it's obvious my ancestors came from Africa because I'm here. And they were taken from their country and brought here to be enslaved, to build a kingdom for people of I can't even say supremacist ideology, a supremacist spirit. And it all started with saying, this group of people is subservient to you. They will always be subservient to you. They taught it from one generation to another generation to another generation to another generation. And I heard a lady on the Roland Morton show one day, and she said, "I never thought I would see in this day and age that my children would have to go through this." But the Bible does speak about a time and a season. The Bible does speak about what was, will be again. Please go and read the Bible. This Bible was here before I was born and before you were born. The Bible is truth. I hear people having their own discussions about the Bible and how it was written. Does it matters if things in this word that you have read has come true and is coming true, then you know that is from God. Because the argument with that is every man writes a book, and everybody's not inspired by God to write certain things. But in this book, these were inspired people. Nevertheless, moving on, that's another argument or another study for another day. My point is, I see everybody in the streets marching. And I kind of had that idea too, like, well, I can't march because of my elements. But, you see all of this and you're like, I want to make a change and I want to make a difference. And there's a rally coming up here in San Antonio on the 14th where they're having a rally for there's no king here in the United States. I'm supposed to attend this rally, but I don't think I will be able to because I just realized I have an appointment on that day. But what I'm saying is what's going on in California, what's going on in Dallas, The Hispanic race is rising up because people in their community are being taken unlawfully. Now, here how you have to understand how economics work. When the President of the United States needed things built, he used immigrants. He used immigrants whom I'm pretty sure he never paid them because they were undocumented. Undocumented immigrants have been mistreated in this United States just like my African ancestors. Because if something happened, they could not go to speak legally what happened to them because they would be deported. So they have been abused for so long. Okay? And sometimes you may not understand it, but sometimes things have to happen so that change can come. Another thing, my ancestors, everything that is happening now, my ancestors have gone through that. The march of Martin Luther King, being brought here to this country, building this country. I saw a man said that Black history is America. It's true. People of color, we are in the fibers of this country because it was built on the back of all of our ancestors from Africa. And now they want to take Haitians away. They want to take everybody away that are in large groves. And I'm not sure if some of you realize, but the Hispanic population is the majority in this United States today. And if you have the majority, when you have the majority, then the majority should be ruling, correct? But it's not like that, because we have a system where the supremacist, racist people have put themselves in place and they don't want to let it go, and so they manipulate things. But remember how this all takes place, people. It has to do with, as they say in Creole, l'argent. L'argent means money. You have to have l'argent. And what is money? Money is economics. This whole war is about economics and race, and what race is producing. Okay? So the immigrants have been producing in this United States for a long time. They have taken the jobs that they used to give to people of color long time ago. But people of color have educated themselves. They have brought themselves up. So now they're using the immigrants to do this. And the immigrants are being cheated like my ancestors were when they picked cotton. So do you see the comparison and the contrast? So I understand what the lady said, but she has to understand the way the cycle of this world works is it has always been about economics, but it has always been about suppressing people. It has always been about this America has been built on, like the devil. He came to kill, steal, and destroy. He came to steal, kill, and destroy. And this is what we're having today. Now, economically, as big as the Hispanic race is, that's good that you're marching. That's good that you're having signs out. You're expressing yourself. But why should another race of people go to Los Angeles, or those that are in Los Angeles go out there, especially people of color, and what's going to happen? All they're going to do is arrest us and beat us down like they're beating you. Because what you're understanding is the same, and honestly, the Hispanic race is getting a measure of what my ancestors or what people of color go through every day. And that does not make it right. But in order to fight power, you need money, l'argent, economics. Your race is so huge and so big. Put your finances together and start a coalition to fight back, to pay for the immigrants that are here in America so that they can stand strong. To put your finances together to create seats in California, where since you are the majority, you can now have a voice. If you do not have a voice, It's because you have no economics. People of color, we have always been taught, get an education, be 10 times better than anybody else. This is taught in my community. And this is why we have things, not because of the government giving us anything. And if the government's going to give us anything, and they owe us a whole lot more, because our ancestors worked in this country free of charge for years. And this is why they are in power now, because they killed, they stole, they raped, they took land away. They took land away from the Indians. And this is why you have all of this rising up today. And I tell any race, you can talk about it, but to be about it, you need l'argent. L'argent, 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 which is money, money, money. A lot of it, to be able for your voice to be heard. Because everybody says the rich keeps getting richer and the poor continues to get poor. Well, what the poor needs to do, and people and communities need to come together, put your resources together. That's what the Black Panthers did. This is what the Black Panthers did. And they didn't like it. So what did they come to do? We used to call them Uncle Tom, but the new word I heard is boo-boo. Mean they put somebody in there with a weak mind to come against their own people. And we in our own races need to recognize those who are for us and those who are not for us in our own race. Okay? And I'm being, it may be hard, but it's truth. Economics. This whole administration is about economics. It's about taking back so that they can be wealthy, their children can be wealthy, and from generation to generation. And so what we as Americans need to do is pool our money together, and we, the people, will have a voice. Protesting is good, but people are being arrested, people are being hurt, and I'm pretty sure some people have been killed. This is what happened in the march. This is what happened over the years when slaves had enough and they rose up and they fought back, but they didn't win because they didn't have the economics, meaning they didn't have the weapons and the guns to fight back. So when we start understanding the fight is with economics, and it deals with who's the poor person, will always be the one subject to receive the brunt of things. Rise up, put your resources together, and this is how you fight the good fight of faith. Because the kingdom of hell, which is the kingdom of Satan, he's here to suppress people, and especially God's people. So if you happen to be in the way, you're going to get suppressed too. Put your resources together. And let's be honest, this is not a surprising thing. The administration that is input now, they spoke about it 8 years ago. So what should have been happening then? People should have been preparing themselves to get their green card. People should have been preparing to become citizens of the United States. So just don't blame it on what's happening now. You saw the storm, but you didn't prepare for the storm. You saw the storm coming, but you did not prepare for the storm. Now, here we are. Gather resources together so that people can get into places of authority. If you are not in a place of authority, there is nothing that can be done. Take back your states. Take back your city and take back the federal government if you want your voices to be heard. I hear things all the time that's going on, and I'll watch it all. But if you know who you are and you have resources to deal with the things that come your way, this is how you are victorious. So, for the love of money, economics, for the love of money, is the root of all evil if it's not used right. And I hope you understand what I am saying. Put our resources together. This is why we have historical, they call it black universities. Because when we came here, when our ancestors here came to this country, although they were paying taxes and everything else, they were not giving them the same privilege. And here's the thing. People of color who have African descent with them, we are going to fight back because our ancestors built this country.